sharing a reading experience from the book The Philosophy of Hope by David Jordan. I took down some notes and I'm sharing them with you now. I hope you'll listen and receive something worthwhile from this. Remember, these are just my notes, not necessarily a report of what the book is about. It may not even be the words or thoughts of the author. Rather, these notes are what I gleaned or thought about while reading. These notes are what caught my interest because the ideas expanded my knowledge or made me think, reflect, or ponder in some way. This video might inspire you to read what I did. It's my hope that you'll search for the best books and gain information and ideas to help you to become a better person. The more you read, the better you'll think. And we cannot argue against the singer or poet, for it is what they feel. But science speaks only what we have experienced. We feel infinity, but we cannot know it. The ultimate truth of the universe is no nearer to us than to a child. Science knows no ultimate truth. Everything ultimate is beyond the reach of man. All man can know is in terms of experience. To act is to make the environment your servant. It is natural for people to try again and again to gain wisdom from failure. For by the embers of loss we count our gain. The joys and pains of life have been a trillion times felt before they came to us. God tosses back to man his failures, but one by one he gives mankind time and strength to try again. There is no permanent state of happiness. Its joys must be won afresh each day. Long ago, in the infancy of civilization, people learned that there were drugs in nature, cell products of growth or transformation of plants by whose agency pain turned into pleasure. By the aid of these outside influences, people could clear their todays of its past regrets and future fears. But the pains caused by these plants outweighed the joys, and the indulgences in unearned deceptions destroyed, sooner or later, all capacity for enjoyment. Mankind slowly learned that the joys of wine, opium, tobacco, and the like were tricks upon the nervous system. In greater or lesser degree, they destroyed the power to tell the truth. Drugs only bring temporary happiness while leaving lasting horror and disgust. Permissiveness can never be wrought into a sound and helpful life. To live effectively implies the belief that life is worth living, and everyone who has lived a worthy life knows this. True optimism is an open-eyed faith that all is worthwhile and that our part in it is worth playing to the end. As a single note in the eternal song, the perfect singer has need of me. Wisdom is knowing what to do next. Virtue is doing it. Religion is the heart's impulse that turns towards the best and highest course of action. Whenever we say no to ourselves, we gain the strength to say no, if it needs be, to others. There is no pleasure in life equal to that of the conquest of a vicious habit. We only yield to temptation because it promises us pleasure without the effort of earning it. The city of the future will not have slums and low places. It will prohibit their existence for the same reason it now prohibits pig pens, dung heaps, and cesspools. For where all these things are, slums or cesspools, saloons or pig pens, there the people grow weak and die. Coffee, tea, and alcohol enable one to borrow from the future store of force for present purposes without any provision for paying back the loan. All drugs force the nervous system to lie. One and all render the nervous system useless of telling the truth. What follows is a reaction of pain, withdraw as unreal as the pleasures they gave. Each use makes the next one both easier and less effective than the first, promoting a greater dose. To yield to temptation makes it easier to yield further and further. Its weakening effect on the will is greater than the injury to the body. Take your stand without remorse and hold on to it to the end. There is nothing more hopeless than the ineffective remorse of someone who drinks and wishes they didn't. They drink to forget. They drink to be happy. They drink to get drunk. Sometimes it's a periodic attack of madness. Sometimes it's a chronic thirst. Whatever it's used for, it's used to destroy life, accuracy of thought and action, wisdom, truth, virtue, hope, and love. A young man starts out to enjoy life. He visits the club. He plays the races. He is the happiest of his company. He thinks well of himself, has a good time, and knows no reason why others should not think well of him. This goes on for many years before the pace becomes too rapid. Mornings become disagreeable. Business is interfering and pleasures spoil. The only thing left to do is to go faster. The race down the cocktail route helps him to forget. Suddenly, one day, the man gets sight of himself. He catches his face in the glass. He sees himself as others see him. Instead of the jolly old fellow which no one can deny, he sees a useless, helpless lush. He sees a man who has spent his life and substance, disgraced his name, ruined his home, broken the heart of his wife and children, and lost the respect of others and himself. He comes to the conclusion that to live in two worlds at once is to be unfit for life in any world. What is worth the cost you have to pay? I can tell you what isn't worth it. It isn't worth it when you seek pleasure and strength in drugs, whose only function is to deceive you, whose gifts are not real. It is not for you to believe that idleness brings rest or that unearned rest brings pleasure. It is the strong who can say no, and the wise who can keep their mind, soul, and body clean. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, kind regards.